Our guest today is Carlo Ratti from Carlo Ratti Associates and Director of the Senseable Labs at MIT. Thank you very much, Carlo, for taking the time to speak with the UN Brief.
Thank you very much for having me.
So today I would like to speak about the smart cities and the aging population. What do you see happening in terms of policies and public investments in Europe and in the US?
Yeah, thank you. That's a very, very important issue. I think, what I see that's quite exciting, and I wouldn't, look at this just as a US versus Europe thing. It's more about city versus city. So mayors are taking really a lot of action. But what I see is quite exciting is that today we can really use new technologies to get more feedback loops with citizens. And so somehow, these kind of feedback loops can help us to speed up urban evolution and to improve our cities. And from this point of view, I see many cities on both sides of the pond, also in Asia and in other continents, really wanted to be at the forefront in order to make cities more livable for the elderly.
Is there any examples of cities that have proactive engagement with the aging population that you could recall off the top of your mind?
Well, let me tell you something. For instance, we started discussing with the city of Amsterdam, in particular with the CTO's office, Ger Baron, who's actually running Amsterdam Smart City. And that is about using artificial intelligence in order to understand better accessibility in the city and then use this knowledge in order to improve it. So basically how we can use this kind of distributed knowledge taken from images that we can analyze using deep learning and in general artificial intelligence is a first step in order to better understand our cities so that then we can improve them and hopefully make them better.
And in terms of climate change and urban centers after COVID, is the solution empowering rural communities with broadband, 5G, and a push for creating creative and tech hubs away from big cities?
I love living in the countryside. I've been, as a kid, I spent a number of years living in the countryside. At the same time, I'm not really sure this is going to be the end of the big city, like many people suggested during the pandemic. Really the attraction of cities, the attractions that we liked before the pandemic are going to still be there later. And on the other hand, when you think about broadband, well, today with a good 4G or 5G connections, we can do pretty much all we need to do at work, and we can do it anywhere we want in most European or American countries. To be perfectly honest, I think the cities will come back, and the problem is not to move to the countryside, but to make our cities more sustainable.
Thank you very much, Carlo Ratti. A pleasure speaking with you. Thank you.
Great talking to you. Thanks for having me.